tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
Right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. All right, Claudette D. Major is in the house. OG Patrice, Pearly, Juju B is here. Okay, Jeff ATL. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, and a big shout out to my moderators because they put in work. I see you, Trisha. Okay, so everybody, Panther Strike is in the house. Deronda. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Hey, Desmond. Everybody be sure to hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Pretty Wings, Ladybug is in the house. Okay, so with that all being said, before we get started, as per usual, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Hey, all right, so don't forget, you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so before we talk about the latest on the Romeca Meeks story, let's talk about this killer. Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old from Utah, ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect, and his own father turned him in. His own father turned him in. So they say President Trump announced early Friday that a suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination was turned in by his father. Now, we talked about this on the last broadcast, okay, that the guy had been caught, they had him in custody or whatever. But and they did pretty much say someone very close to him turned him in, and his father decided to step in. Now, his father may very well have done it for that $100,000, because from those images they had of him that they were displaying on the news, they were pretty good images. So anybody who knew him likely would figure out that it was him. So his father probably was like, "Let me just get this money. They're going to need it for his defense anyway. Not that it'll do him any good, mind you, in my opinion." So anyway, says that President Trump announced early Friday that a suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination was turned in by his father, with a suspect identified as Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old Utah student who allegedly wrote, "Hey, fascist, catch this," on a bullet. That's what he wrote on there. He said, "I think with a high degree of certainty that we have him." Okay, so we remember all that, whatever Trump said. And this young man's aunt, or I'm sorry, his grandma, says that their entire family is MAGA. That's what she said. Well, I guess he didn't know that Charlie Kirk was MAGA, or just didn't care. Okay, so anyway, uh, says somebody close to him turned him in. I'm going to share his picture on the screen. I know we've already seen him, but here's a pretty good picture of him right here. Like everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Also, please, family, make sure you double check to ensure that you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Okay, there you can see him right there. You know, these shooters always look the same to me. They always have a similar look about themselves. So anyway, goes on to say somebody very close to him decided to turn him in, revealing that it was the suspect's father who relayed it through a minister who was involved with law enforcement. So he told a pastor, okay, saying, I hope he's going to be found guilty, and I hope he gets put to death. What he did, Charlie Kirk was the finest person. He didn't deserve this. This is what Trump said. Trump did not name the suspect, but he was later confirmed to be Robinson, an ID first confirmed by the Post. They say, "We got him." Utah Governor Spencer Cox announced it with the arrest at 10 p.m. Thursday, some 33 hours after the father of two, Kirk, 31, was gunned down at the Utah Valley University on Wednesday. Tyler was turned in by his dad, a now retired veteran law enforcement officer, who confronted him after seeing photos of the killer, with the son saying he would rather kill himself than hand himself in. Now, Discord chats with his roommate also showed him discussing a rifle hidden in a towel near where it was found soon after Kirk's assassination. Bullets had hateful scrawls on them, including, "If you read this, you are gay. LM8, laughing my A off. And hey, fascists, catch this." Okay, aimed at the conservative debater. Now, another featured the words, "Oh, Bella Sayo," or Sio, repeated over and over, which is a popular Italian anti-fascist song. Okay, Robinson had been admitted to Utah State University, about 200 miles from UVU, where Kirk was murdered, on a $32,000 presidential scholarship as a pre-engineering major, with his family filming him reading his acceptance letter. However, he was only a student at USU for one semester in 2021, and that was in the fall, and then took a leave of absence without elaborating on why he dropped out. He was a current student at Dixie Technical College in St. George, Utah, where he was a third-year student in the electrical apprenticeship program. Robinson has two younger brothers, and his parents, Matt and Amber, have been married for about 25 years. Family lives in a suburb of the city of St. George in southern Utah, about a 3.5-hour drive south of the Utah Valley University campus, where Robinson is accused of assassinating Kirk. Says he shot him from an elevated position about 200 yards from the tent. where he was speaking. Now, have you all noticed the distance? Did any of you just happen to notice the distance of where he shot this man? Because when I tell you, he had to have been a pretty good shot, okay, to make that, as far as I'm concerned. Did you all happen to see it? Because I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was very interesting. Okay. And so, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, with that all being said, Trump sitting here talking about Charlie was like a son to him. I mean, he's rubbing it on pretty thick, if you ask me. That's all I'm saying. Rubbing it on pretty thick. Rick said that's an expert distance. You know, that's what I pretty much said. Okay, that's what I was thinking. 200 feet. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this video real quick. I know I had it. I hate when I lose my receipts. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. Let me see, is this it right here? Oh, here it is right here. Okay. This is the letter of this. I don't even know what to call him, but this is the letter of Tyler getting his college acceptance letter. Little did they know he was going to turn out to be a cold-blooded killer, I guess.
You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters. Congratulations! You have been selected to receive the
All right, so he just ruined his little life, honey, all for hatred, I guess, at the end of the day. All right, so with that being said, and also, it was something about the Utah governor. Hold on. Something I want to tell you all about the Utah governor. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right here. It says Utah governor known for disagreeing calls for calm after Kirk shooting. Okay, so the Utah governor, Spencer Cox, announced that there was a suspect in custody for the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, and he delivered another message directly to young Americans. He said, "You are inheriting a country where politics feel like rage. It feels like rage is the only option." This is what Cox said to the reporters at the Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Cox, a Republican, encouraged young people to choose a different path, referencing a comment Kirk made before his death about how society has to get back to having reasonable agreement where violence is not an option. So while Kirk was a highly divisive figure with a history of inflammatory comments, Cox and others have applauded his willingness to engage those who disagreed with him. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. So the mantra of disagreeing better has morphed into Cox's brand as a politician. In 2023, Cox was named chair of the National Governors Association, where his Disagree Better campaign attempted to amplify ways Americans could learn how to engage in healthy conflict. Yeah, it's called conflict resolution. Now, the goal was to combat political polarization and participate in civil debate. He tried to lead by example, partnering with Democratic Governor Jared Polis of Colorado on the Disagree Better campaign. Now, Cox routinely told local reporters that he believed democracy was headed down a very dark path. It scares the hell out of me, he said. In a press conference the day Kirk was shot, Cox referenced a series of violent acts against U.S. politicians, including the murder of Melissa Hortman, the Democratic Speaker of the Minnesota House, the firebombing of the home of Josh Shapiro, the Democratic Governor of Pennsylvania, and 2 attempts to assassinate President Trump. threats toward elected officials have increased tenfold since Trump took office in 2016. Yeah, have you all noticed that? Like, we literally never were hearing about these things, especially somebody breaking into the Speaker of the House's residence. Remember that? Nancy Pelosi's house got broken into and they hit her husband upside the head with a hammer. Okay. And then when the Shapiro's house got firebombed, do y'all remember that? This is all crazy. Y'all remember that? The damage that was done. But now you're hearing about this stuff so much. And I can't help but think that it's all due to Trump and his nefariousness. Okay. I absolutely think he has everything to do with it. Not that he's telling people or sending anybody to do it, but just the fact that the people that follow him are so radicalized and just so nonsensical and just obtuse. That's just my opinion. Now, so anyway, with that all being said, um, since Trump took office in 2016, according to data from the U.S. Capitol Police. And let's not forget the Capitol riot also. Okay. All I'm saying is Trump seems to be responsible for the decline of this country. And that's just what I believe. Researcher Rachel Kleinfeld, whom Cox has cited here, found that violent political attacks have also sharply spiked since 2016, mostly by far-right believers. And the thing is, Trump and the rest of these Republicans want to sit there and act like it's the Democrats that are the problem. Talking about the lefty extremists and all this. When Cox was campaigning for Utah governor in the 2020 election cycle, he won some praise from both sides of the aisle by subtly distancing himself from Donald Trump. Cox never endorsed Trump directly in that cycle. The governor also said he didn't vote for Trump in 2016 or 2020, stating that he hasn't voted for a major party candidate since 2012. But Cox endorsed Trump after the assassination attempt in 2024. Cox, a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, mind you, said that he prayed about it and believed publicly backing Trump was the right thing to do. He said, I'm doing everything that I can to help and support him. That's what he told reporters in 2024 in a press conference. He said, we'll still have lots of disagreements, I'm sure, and we'll still do everything we can to help the state of Utah and to help the Republican Party be successful. Now, Cox also wrote Trump a letter after the first failed assassination attempt last year, calling on him to act as a unifying force, saying that your life was spared. Now, because of that miracle, you have the opportunity to do something that no other person on earth can do right now. Unify and save our country. I fear that America is on the precipice of an unmitigated disaster. Yeah, and he was right. And that disaster was Trump walking right into that Oval Office again. We need to turn down the temperature and find ways to come together again before it's too late. Well, Trump's the wrong person to speak to about that because Trump's whole thing is not about unity and unifying. It's about divisive. Okay, that's what it's all about. And dividing and conquering. Okay, what America has always done. So while Kirk wasn't an elected official, Cox has called his death political assassination and said Utah would be seeking the death penalty against the person charged with his murder. Isn't that something? Like, he's just so special. But let me continue. At the end of his remarks on Friday morning, Cox returned to the bedrock of what he believes is wrong with America today. He said, we will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely, especially those ideas with which you disagree. Okay, then they're going to have problems. Okay, so but here's the thing. You know, America is always trying to hide their dirt. Okay, they're always trying to hide their dirt. Now they want to sit here and act like Charlie Kirk is some martyr, like he was some good person, calling him an activist, as if he was out there fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. But he was a racist, he was a bigot, he was low down, and he was nefarious. Okay, but they're not going to paint him that way because we know how they do with their nefarious people that are wanton supremacists. They praise them, build monuments to them, and they turn them into martyrs. That's what they do. That's why it really ticked me off when Candace, with her stupid self, had the audacity to say that, in fact, we are the ones, Black people, that is, she said, we're the ones that praise our criminals. Isn't that what she said? Isn't that what she said? Yeah, absolutely is. Okay, so anyway, so let's get into it. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and tell you all about what happened with Romeca Meeks. So the young lady who took her life, um, Holly Johnson, she was arrested, but she has not been charged, and she is now walking free. She was released. Now, the family came out speaking the other day, and they were like, yeah, she's in jail and she's not getting out. We're going to make sure she doesn't get out, and they were saying all this stuff because they really want justice, and of course they should. But they were saying, she's not getting out, but now she's out. So she's been released and they have pressed no charges. And that's because she told them that it was self defense and that she feared for her life. Yeah, she did what the police do when they take somebody out that's unarmed at a traffic stop. She said she feared for her life. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that some of the stuff that's been out there is not exactly how it all happened. But also, they're saying that Carlos is going to be arrested soon. Carlos is going to be arrested because it seems to me like they're saying basically what I said about how Carlos used her to go out there and take out the ex, and then so he wouldn't have anything on his, he wouldn't have his hand in it basically. But now it looks like they're going to be coming after him because the person that gave this information, a man by the name of Steph Watts, works really close with the CPD. Okay, the Chicago Police Department. He actually worked on the case for Casey the case of Casey Anthony. Remember the mom from Florida that killed her daughter and all that allegedly. But anyway, he worked on that case and he's worked on several other big cases. So he's clicked in with the police and they basically told him that they don't have a case. It's not the police's fault, he says. He says, don't be mad at the police because the police took the case to the DA. The DA doesn't feel like they can win the case because they're saying that from what they have right now, it looks like self-defense. Now, mind you, it could change later. They could decide to press charges, but he said that the public needs to put pressure on them. The public needs to put pressure on the DA's office, like sending them letters, calling them or whatever, and then maybe they'll do something because right now it's like they don't want to take a case that they feel like they can't win because she's saying self-defense. And let's not forget that she did have a restraining order against Romeica. She had a restraining order against Romeica. So, with that all being said, it seems like there might not be any charges pressed on her, which she definitely needs to go to prison. She shot that girl 4 times. They said she fired the gun 4 times. 3 of them, I think, hit Romeica. One of them in the thigh, and the other ones hit her in her face. It's like she wanted to destroy her face. That's just what it seems to me. Like you shot her multiple times at close range in her damn face while he had her in a headlock. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that I think maybe she wasn't in the headlock at the time of the shooting because the guy, Steph Watts, was saying that could be misinformation, perhaps, because how did she not shoot him? Because if he's got her in a headlock, her face is close to his body. And if she's shot in the face, how does that happen with him not being shot? So he may have let her go at that point once Holly went to get the gun. But we're going to listen to what he has to say. Okay, Trisha said she had a restraining order but was at the child's school. Yeah, but here's the thing though. We don't know why she said she was at the school. We don't know if she said she even knew she was going to the school. If she was riding with Carlos, because they say that she didn't ride for 2 hours, like was previously said that she drove for 2 hours. Now they're saying she actually had spent the night at Carlos's house, and they got up that morning and went to the school. So I don't know. They're not giving all the specifics. Some of the stuff the guy wouldn't even say. I'm going to let you all hear what he did say. But at the end of the day, I don't know, honey. Hold on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. I'm going to put an overlay on here because I don't have permission to use this for this information. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go.
to this in the Chicago area. 75% of them are released and never charged. In this particular case, she's been released and is currently not facing charges, but under pressure from the social media, under pressure from people that are watching, that's possible that it could change. Now, also, to put another twist into this story that people don't understand, Carlos himself is facing some potential charges.
I think things can get really complicated when we're thinking about the ego, parenting, human behavior, and people's entitlement to their own children, and jealousy, and absolute jealousy, and just the inability to control one's impulses. We're saying what kind of a man? Yes, hey, this dude is being demonized for sure. But
you know who's lost?
I don't know.
You know who's lost in this conversation, Naja? Think about it. That little boy has to come out of school or be taken out of school.
Ooh.
Somebody has to tell him that his mother was gunned down at that school. And then he more than likely, I don't know the family dynamics, has to go home with that father and potentially the woman who killed his mother. And she's not going to be charged.
She has gotten away with it.
Sit here. She is not going to be charged for the murder.
According to the state, the murder that she rightfully did, that she rightfully committed.
I don't want people to be outraged at the Chicago Police Department. The Chicago Police Department presented the case to the state attorney's office. Okay, they brought the case in the state attorney's office. Let's be really clear on this.
The state attorney's office was like, we ain't got a case. We don't have a case. This is a clear. So they're saying it's clean cut self-defense. Let's wrap it up. Let's go home.
But I'm asking
the state attorney's office.
Right. So this is why I want, because I got a lot of calls on this and I didn't want to talk about it, but I promised you I would talk about it with you because I know the story is personal to you, because I know you have a similar situation. I want people that are watching to understand you can put pressure on the state attorney's office. She needs to be charged. She was 15 feet away. She walked into a volatile situation, and there was no reason why that woman should be dead. There's absolutely no reason, and you've got to remember, she brought although she had a CCL, she took an open weapon, outside of a school.
A school.
Children, and she murdered somebody else in cold blood. And 9:30 in the morning with children, there could have still been children going in. Sometimes kids are late. There was a lot of people still there. You could tell by the video that you're going to show people. So, I'm outraged by this. I think it's disgusting. I think the Chicago Police Department is incredibly frustrated from my conversations with them. They did everything they could do to charge. I think there's going to be more charges, but I'm telling you, who's going to be in trouble in this is Carlos. He's got some problems, and if he thinks he's scot-free, he's not. And I hope he's watching, and I hope he should be incredibly nervous. But
are you, according to your sources, and I want you to share as much as you can, is there an active investigation into Carlos? Is he possibly facing charges? What do you mean by that?
This is why I'm so frustrated with this. I know who this guy, I know this type, okay? If this guy has committed another murder, okay? If this guy has a volatile relationship with the victim, can't stand her, wants him out of his life, what's the easiest way to do it? Not get him to do it. He brought his girlfriend there. He knew she had a CCL. He knew
he wouldn't have blood on his hands.
I'm going to bring you to my girlfriend. I'm going to instigate a thing. I know your temper. I know her temper. I know you're going to fight. I know you're going to shoot her. She's out of the way. He gets custody of the child. That's why I'm so frustrated with the state attorney's office. They need to dig deeper. They looked at the surface of this case, and I want people to understand that my history, I've done this for 25 years.
Just in case, you guys don't know who Steph Watts is, Steph is one of the people that did pivotal research and investigative journalism in the Casey Anthony case. He also worked on the John Benet Ramsey case and owns a lot of exclusive rights and footage. He's sat with the family members on both sides to bring justice in both of those cases. So he's done it.
Case I witnessed the autopsy of Kathleen Salvio. I was the one that got the charges brought against Drew Peterson and why he sits in jail. I was there for the disappearance of Stacey Peterson. Realized, wait, this other guy's wife is dead, and they said it was an accident. And guess what, Naja? It wasn't an accident. It was a homicide. And Drew Peterson sits behind bars because of the work we did. I've sat face-to-face with killers, Joran Vandersloot. I sat face-to-face with the only man ever charged with the murder of John Benet Ramsey. I'm not tooting my horn. I just want people to know that I have 25 years of experience, and I'm looking at this case.
So when you say we need to watch out for Carlos, this means you're noticing a pattern. You've seen something before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How did this situation escalate to the point where a man is wrestling with his ex-girlfriend, a mother of his child, in the parking lot? How does it get to the point where the other woman pulls out a gun and shoots her? Like, we need to big picture this stuff. You know, it's just like, who's culpable for this? Well, guess what, Naja? There's no one being charged for her murder. No.
Let's go back to that. Let's because I feel like you said it and it was a bit jarring, and I'm in a state of disbelief. We saw the aftermath. There's no videos of the actual shooting or the incident just yet, but we saw the aftermath. This woman has been released. Now, does this mean that she's not going to be charged? And we know the statistics in Chicago. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because it's not making sense. This woman essentially gets to go home with her boyfriend / baby daddy with the child they have together. I'm assuming the son that he shared with the deceased is also with him because he's now the full-time custodial parent. So she's having to be in the household with the child of a woman that she killed. That is jarring. But what do we know at this point about, will she be charged, or is this a done deal and has justice been served as far as the law is concerned?
Here's what I know and here's what I've learned. Now, she had a CCL, which is a carry and conceal license for the weapon. She claimed, and she used the language that the state attorney's office wants to hear, which is, I was in fear for my life. Here's what's contradicting to what her statements are. From what I understand, she was 15 feet away from the victim. All right, 15 feet away from the victim, and there was 4 shots fired. She was shot in the face and she was shot in the leg. So I think if you're in fear for your life and you're trying to immobilize a person, 1 shot will work for that. So why was 4 shots fired? Why was she 15 feet away? And so let's just back up a little bit. So what had happened was she had arrived at
the school.
Yeah, she arrived at the school with her boyfriend, who's also a father of both women's children. Okay, so Holly has a restraining order against the victim. Okay, so you're coming into a situation. If I have a restraining order against you, okay, right? I see you, I'm not going to approach you. So these families interacted. They had, and here's what else. If they were dropping off their children at school, or if they were coming to see his child going to school, he was late because the child had already gone into school. So It sounds to me like this was an situation that could have been avoided. No matter what people say the victim did, if the victim spoke ill to the shooter, whatever happened, nothing can justify pulling out a gun from 15 feet away, shooting and killing someone outside your child's school, firing 4 shots into someone's face, into someone's leg, killing them, waiting calmly for the police to get there, and then telling the police, I have the right to carry. She said that, yeah. She had a CCL.
She said that several times. She said, hey, very calmly, it was self-defense. I have the right to carry a weapon, but you do not have the right to kill. So just to be clear, the reports that you're getting from your sources say that the shots were fired from 15 feet away, because some of the witnesses on the scene on that gruesome video that we saw say that the man in the middle, the father of both of these women's children, was probably breaking up a fight, right? One guy even said on the scene, he said, you had her in a headlock. It's one of the eyewitnesses. Do you have any detail on what that meant? Were the 3 of them and then some sort of altercation?
Yeah, so you're talking about the man in the middle of this, Carlos Ray, who's to me is literally an absolute disgrace, and we can talk about him later because there's some stuff going to come out about Carlos himself. So there's eyewitnesses accounts all over TikTok, Twitter, all the social media platforms saying that Way had Meeks in a headlock. Okay, now there's no way that, look, I'm just talking from my 25 plus years experience covering crimes, investigating cases.
Right.
That, he's got her in a headlock and the woman shoots 4 shots into her and hits her in the face and leg. I mean, you'd have to be a pretty good shot to do that. So whether or not there was an altercation prior to the shooting is left to be determined.
Right.
We can, you've got the video, Naja. I know you're going to show the video. I think
there's parts of the video that I'm absolutely going to have to cut out because I just will not show this woman in her final state there. But according to the video that I'm showing here, as you can see, the witness is screaming out, "You had her in a headlock." This lets me know that the shooting was because of some sort of physical confrontation that happened.
There's a lot of unanswered questions in this situation. Why was the father of the child that was in school there with his baby mama or with his girlfriend? Why were they there? What were they doing there? Why would she come to the school with a gun? Yes, you have a CCL. As I sit here with you, she's been released and she is not being charged. Now, let me tell you something. What could happen with everybody that's watching this and circulating that video, pressure from people on social media could put pressure on the state attorney's office. The state attorney's office doesn't want to take a case that they don't believe that they can charge and win. She said all the right things. She had a CCL, she had a license to carry the gun, and she said, "I was in fear for my life." Now, on paper, I know. I see you rolling your eyes. I know.
So that's all you got to say. You have to say, you got to make sure you have your paperwork in order, get your restraining order, and you can go and approach a person who you are asking the law to keep away from you, and you can take their life if you have your paperwork in order. That's what I'm understanding from CPD. Am I hearing you correctly? Am I misunderstanding how this works?
Correctly. And the reason that this is so upsetting, and I'm glad we're doing this, is because this sets a terrible precedent. Is that, of the arrests that are made in Chicago, 75% of the people are released. Naja, you've got to remember, right now, as we sit here, they felt that they didn't have enough evidence to charge her in the killing. It makes...
That's something important, though, Steph. You said they're not going to take on a case that they don't think that they can win. So clearly there's something there, some evidence that's not released, some sort of statement, some sort of history that they are privy to that we just don't know about yet. And they knew that they would not get a prosecution of this woman in court. This, not even manslaughter, not even premeditated, because I've gone through the Facebook of all 3 parties at this point. I do believe the shooter's Facebook page has already been deactivated, but the man, his Facebook page is still there, and the deceased, her TikTok page and her other social medias are still up. According to the deceased, she actually had a restraining order against her child's father, and he was consistently violent. She would even post pictures of the aftermath of some of his violent outbursts, him coming to destroy her property, coming to destroy the son's property, allegedly. And these are photos that she posted on her own social media. Do we know anything about this man? And he does not look like the violent one in this video. He looks like almost a father that is grieving. He looks like he is confused and befuddled. But what do we know about Carlos Way?
Well, let me tell you this. Let's really get into the nitty-gritty of this. What kind of a guy goes to the school, brings a woman who has a restraining order against his other baby's mom? Come on, Naja. I'm not going to bring somebody to your house that I know that has an active restraining order against you. I'm not going to bring anybody within 100 feet. I'm not going to even socialize with somebody that has an active restraining. Carlos Way, from what I've learned, has his own set of problems. But here's what I want to clear up about him. There's no way that Carlos Way was holding her down while she was shot, because he would have been charged. So it's possible that there was some kind of an altercation between him and the victim. That altercation ended. The shooter went and got her gun. She was 15 feet away. You really need to remember, she was 15 feet away when she fired 4 shots. One of them hitting the victim's face, one of them hitting the victim's leg and killing the victim. Okay, 15
So
feet.
at the moment when you're 15 feet away, I'm assuming she probably went back to her car to retrieve the weapon. We don't know that for sure. That's just my assumption. She could have gotten in her car and driven off. She could have said, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to go. But instead, she chose to draw that weapon. To be clear, this woman is known to be petite. She was a tiny, tiny woman. So people can say anything. Again, this is all alleged. But,
Right.
you know, I'm trying to understand, how did we get to go from just a brawl at the school to someone laying on the ground dead?
Right. So let's big picture this. This is how I work. This is how myself as an investigative journalist work. This is how the police work. Let's big picture this. Romeica dropped her son off at school, wrote him a beautiful note. She had somewhere to be. She had a schedule. She was dropping her son off. Then she had to be somewhere else. Okay, she had to be at work. You and I both know what that's like. A, B, I've got to be here, drop my son off. Hectic morning. Carlos and Holly were coming to the school. For what reason they were coming there, we don't know. You said to me that it was to bring him lunch. I don't know.
Well, my assumption is it's his child's, he's at school, because, you know, I deal a lot with high conflict custodial battles and the restraining orders and the things of that nature. He probably was just at the school because he either wanted to see the kid or it was some sort of pickup drop off. They should not have been in the same place at the same time, but
Okay, I had to skip past what she was saying because she sounds crazy. And she's talking about she knows because of cases she's dealt with. Girl, I don't care what you dealt with. At the end of the day, he wasn't just there conveniently, coincidentally at the damn school. He came there to start mess. What the hell is she talking about? And then she sounds like she's caping for him. She also sounded crazy to me when she said a few minutes ago that he didn't seem like he was abusive. When she saw him at the scene, you know, in the video at the scene, he seemed calm. Okay, that should let you know that he's crazy. Who the hell's calm when their baby's mother is lying there with her face blown off? And you just had her in a headlock, and the one that blew her face off is your other baby's mom. Who could be calm besides a psychopath? Okay, I'm sorry. This lady just doesn't sound that smart to me. But let's continue with what Steph has to say, because clearly he doesn't agree with her foolishness. Hold on, you all said no sound? I don't know why there's no sound. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me once in the chat if you all can hear me talking? Once in the chat if you all can hear me talking. Okay, you all can hear me, but how come you can't hear the darn video? Hold on. Let me stop the share and then go back to it. I don't know what happened, honey. I don't know why y'all couldn't hear it. Hold on. I can still hear it. Hold on. Okay, so let me know if you can hear it now. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna start it back.
So we don't know what transpired in the time that little boy went off to school. We don't know if his dad was able to say, "Hey, son, give him a kiss," and both parents sent him into the school. We simply don't know. I find it difficult to believe and not nonsensical that people would claim self-defense when it's what you're saying is you're painting it as if it was some sort of ambush, which it very well could have been.
Let me ask you this. If you're telling me there was an hour time gap, let's work the timeline. We always work the timeline. If there was an hour timeline, if that child was in school at 8:30 and she was killed at 9:30, was she waiting for him to get there for whatever reason, or to have a conversation with him? If she was really like dropping off her child and leaving, she would have dropped off her kid, watched him walk into school, and gone. So why are we an hour outside of the time that the child was to be into school, and now she's dead outside? What happened in that hour? Okay,
what happened? So always see, she reportedly dropped off her young son at school. We know that. And she was seen arguing with a female that she knew. A female was arrested. So we know that there was a confrontation between these two women. We also know that the shooter did not drive all the way from Milwaukee. It was previously stated. We know that she was at her child's father's house, and did they drive together? Did they arrive together? These are still very much unanswered questions. And the reason that you and I are keeping tabs on this story, because we are only presenting the facts. We're not trying to get this. We're not trying to be first. We're trying to be accurate.
Again, it's really important for people to try to put on their investigation hat and look at this. Romeica had a reason to be there. She was dropping off her son. What was the reason for Holly and Carlos to be there? What was the reason for them to be at that school? We don't know. Maybe they had a reason. Was there? Did she have a child that went there? Did he have another child that went there? All we know is that she had a restraining, or Holly has a restraining order against Romeica. Okay, she goes there. Okay, so we don't know who approached who, but if Romeica had approached Holly, then she was in violation of the restraining order. Okay, that's a problem. She wasn't, we don't know, but there was eyewitnesses. Maybe there's video of it. We don't know when people started filming, but there was obviously some kind of an altercation. Okay. Then Holly somehow retrieves the gun. She has a CCL. She retrieves the weapon. She's 15 feet away from the victim and shoots her 4 times. One hitting her in the face, one hitting her in the leg, and she's dead. Okay, we're
talking 15 feet. Away. So I'm 5'6", so that's 3 of me. So that's quite a difference. Just to frame it to those of you listening, that's quite a ways away. Unless she thought that the deceased had a weapon, at this.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. At the end of the day, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, this young lady, Holly Johnson, is out right now because she lied and said that she feared for her life. And until they can prove that that is not the case, she's going to remain free. Now, I'm pretty sure they planned it from beginning to the end. Okay, this is no coincidence. Getting the restraining order, getting her license to carry. I bet you she didn't have either of the two that long. I bet you this was all methodically planned and calculated. Let me just tell you all something. See, here's the thing. There are some women like Holly who are just so stupid and so desperate to be with a man. I mean, they could easily find somebody else because she isn't an ugly young lady. She's nice looking. Okay. She could easily find somebody else, but she's fixated on Carlos, or at least she was. Who knows now that they're in this debacle? But the bottom line is, there are some women who'll be so desperate to be with a man that they'll put up with anything, even knowing that that man really don't want them. Now, you know that Carlos really didn't want her. He wanted Romeica. And you can even tell when you look at the pictures of them together, because in the pictures with Romeica, he looks like he's so happy. But when he's with her, he's just looking like, like whatever. Okay, if you go through their social media and look in multiple pictures, that's what you would see. The bottom line is, I guarantee you he was talking trash about Romeica to Holly. trying to make Romeica seem as though she's the villain, trying to make it seem as though Romeica still wants him. But really, if Holly had sense, she would know it's the other way around, because anytime your man is talking to you about his ex on a regular basis, whether he's complaining, whether he's comparing you to her, whatever, that's because he still wants her. Because when you don't still want people, you don't talk about them. You don't think about them. You move on from them. If you're still talking about your ex, that's because you probably still want them, or you're still suffering from some sort of trauma or something that happened, or whatever. But usually that's the case. So with that being said, he knew that Holly was a fool for him and a fool for love, clearly. And he knew that she was probably one of those rah-rah types that goes off, gets hostile, gets angry. He knows Romeica is the same, and he knew that if he went up to that school with Holly with him, and she's got her gun in the car, she's already got a restraining order, because they already playing this, okay? Nobody's crazy. They got to that school, and he starts to mess with Romeica, and then Holly's going to be the one to pull the trigger, and he's off free, or so he thinks. But now the word is that the prosecutors, they've heard of these type of situations before. Just like I told you all, I've heard of these situations before. Okay, and at the end of the day, they already know what he was up to, so they're going to come after him. Now, the thing is, they may just let Holly slide because they may feel like she's just a victim of circumstance, or somebody who was manipulated by a no good man. And also because she's already said that she feared for her life and she had a restraining order. Now, the question is, why did she have that restraining order on Romeica, and how was she able to get it? Because you have to prove that a person is a danger to you, or at least you believe they're a danger to you, in order for you to get a restraining order. So the question becomes, what did Holly tell the judge in order for her to get that restraining order against Romeica? And also, Romeica had an active restraining order against Carlos as well. That's another reason he's in trouble. He wasn't supposed to be anywhere around her. And if he went to the school and he can claim that he didn't know she was there, which I'm sure he did. But even if he says, oh, I didn't know she was there, once he saw that she was there, he was supposed to leave. Okay? He was supposed to leave. Another thing that piques my curiosity is this. So they say that school had been in session for an hour. Romeica had dropped the son off, and this is an hour later. She's still at the school. Now, maybe she got there late, and that's why she was still there. Maybe she was dropping him off late, or maybe after she dropped him off and was about to leave, that's when the two of the Carlos and Holly, maybe that's when they showed up, and maybe that's how long the confrontation lasted. Them out there arguing, going back and forth, because I'm sure they didn't just start fighting. Probably had a heated discussion back and forth or whatever. Somebody had said something about them putting the baby in the car. I'm going to go to a couple of videos to let you all see in a minute. I haven't watched all of these videos. I don't have time to. I just click on some of them. If they were saying something I thought you all might want to hear, I send it to my email. Now, here is a news report from WGN Chicago from earlier today, talking about how the killer, Holly Johnson, was released.
Hi, good afternoon, you all. According to CPD, the person who was taken into custody after the fatal shooting of 31-year-old Romeca Meeks Blackman has been released without charges. Blackman's family is eagerly seeking justice.
Someone has to pay for this. It's not right.
Surrounded by family and overwhelmed with grief, Romeica's mom, Tina McMiller, says she's, as you can imagine, heartbroken after losing Romeica to gun violence on Monday morning. Romeica was dropping her son off at school near Cermak and State when police say some sort of fight unfolded, with the suspect pulling out a gun and shooting Romeica in the face. She was rushed to Georgia Hospital but did not make it. Romeica was in school to become a nurse. Her mother says she was an outstanding mother, daughter, and friend.
Romeica was my baby. Romeica was kind, sweet, loving, very, very supportive, and an amazing mother. She loved her son. She loved me. She loved her siblings. And I loved her the same.
Tina says she's now raising her grandson, Romeica's 6-year-old son. Also, when I reached out to CPD about why the person originally taken into custody for allegedly shooting Romeica had been released without charges, they said that they can't give us any type of comment on an ongoing investigation. Loved ones say that there will be a balloon release in Romeica's honor tonight at 68th and Normal in Inglewood, where she attended high school. Reporting live in the South Loop, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
Okay, so that's just a darn shame all the way around because, like I said, I really hope this self-defense claim doesn't work. I hope that doesn't stick because I don't believe her. Okay, this was all planned and premeditated as far as I'm concerned. Now, here's what I was thinking because you know how when a person's not here to defend themselves, they've come out. I don't know who did it, but somebody posted some videos of Romeica going off on Carlos. And I'm wondering if any of these videos is how Holly got that restraining order. I'm just curious. I'm going to go to one of the videos here because apparently they had a confrontation before. And, you know, they're saying that he used to put hands on Romeica pretty much. And she was posting about it and she was getting sick of him. And pretty much she left a paper trail to the things that he was doing. And that's likely why he's going to be arrested as well because they know that he was abusive. Okay. And plus she had a restraining order. He wasn't supposed to be there anyway. Okay, so likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Why did you lie? Why you lie so much? Why do you lie so much? I'm talking to you. What? Talk to me and I'll throw it down. You want to keep lying? This how I feel when somebody keep lying to somebody. Why did you lie? Tell me why you lied. Tell me why you lied. Why did you lie? Why you lie so much? Why do you lie so much? I'm talking to you. What? Talk to me and I'll throw it down. You want to keep lying?
Okay, so in that video right there, they were basically saying that that's when she found out that he had a baby with the other girl. And so she was mad because he was lying about it. So he was playing both of them. That's what he was doing. And no wonder she got sick and tired of him. Okay, so this is sad. At the end of the day, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, I'm going to another video. Here we go.
And Holly Johnson, hear me and hear me well. You both are going to be haunted by the spirit of Romeca Meeks until the end of your days, whether it's the age of apocalypse or your timely demise. Note, I said timely, because Carlos, the streets are going to get you one way or another. If the justice system doesn't get you, the streets are going to get you one way or another. Holly, I'm going to let you know right now, girl, as quiet as it is kept, you're probably going to be looking at a bond of about $1 million. And I doubt that your family is going to be able to cough up that 10% of that. And if they are, okay, but they probably had to pawn off many things and probably had to give up somebody's apartment and car. For y'all to pull up to the son's school, for you as a man to put that woman in a headlock, and for you as the bitch who went on the dummy mission with that man to then do what you did, letting off one shot to the face and one shot to the neck, bitch, that's overkill. If you hit her in the face one time, that was enough, but you just wanted to really stick it to her. Were you jealous of her going viral on TikTok because of the sweet little notes that she would leave in her son's lunch bag because you're a raggedy ain't shit mama? And didn't you just deliver your baby a few months ago? So you're dealing with postpartum, but even that's not a good enough excuse.
Hey, I can't with him. I think I've heard enough from him. He's going on a whole rant talking about she's dealing with postpartum. How does he know that? Okay, she probably doesn't have any darn postpartum. She's just nefarious. So here's the thing. I'm going to conclude this broadcast in a second. Look, it's really sad. Condolences to the family of Romeica. specifically her son. I hope both of them go to jail. That's where they need to be. But here's the thing, like I said, these women that know they're playing second fiddle, that know that the man really doesn't want them, they're not the one that he chooses to be with. He prefers somebody else. And when he can't have that person, he'll use them as just second fiddle, as his second option. Can you imagine being in a relationship where you know that you're not really wanted or appreciated and that the other person is the object of the affection? Honey, just leave. Just leave. Why would you have to be so desperate that you'd be willing to take somebody else's life just to be with a man that didn't choose you as number one in the first place? They think because after this person's gone, the one that he really chose, the main woman that he really wants, they think after that person's gone, now it's going to be just them and him. That's usually not how it turns out. Usually, if you kill that person, you're going to be in jail. He's going to be out there messing around with somebody else, or maybe you'll both be in prison, but you won't be together regardless. See how stupid this is and how it's so nonsensical? She could have just gone on and found her somebody else and be like, honey, you got drama. See, that's why I never dealt with drama. Okay, I never dealt with drama. And then these women, and here's the thing that's really sad. I actually think that they were both stalking Romeica. I think that Carlos was stalking her, definitely. She said that he would pop up at her school and at her job. Then he's popping up at the son's school. And then he's bringing Holly with him. I think Holly was probably helping him stalk her. Okay, they had this all planned out. He wanted her out of the way. He was upset. He didn't want to have to, probably didn't want to have to pay child support. Mad because she didn't want to be with him and she's going to school to be a nurse, making something out of herself. Yeah, he couldn't stand to see that, to see her with somebody else. Yeah, that's what he didn't want. Okay, that's like that thug that killed my friend years ago, like I told you all. He literally said, I answered the phone at work when he called that day. He said, you tell that bitch she's dead. The show ain't over until the fat lady sings, and I will see her in the ground before I see her with somebody else. That's what he said. And when I told her he said that, I said, girl, we need to call the police. And then one of our other friends was like, you want me to call my husband and his friends to take care of him? And she was like, no, that's my children's father. She was like, I can't call the police on him. And within 2 weeks, she was dead. And he killed her. And guess what? He's still walking free. Now, the police told me that they knew that he did it, but they couldn't prove it. They had to let him go in 72 hours. They said knowing it's one thing and proving it's another. Happened in Gwinnett County. Snellville to be exact. Okay, so anyway, that's the sad way some of these things turn out. And Imuna said it's about control and manipulation, Queen. Yes. And who does that? Who are the people that love to have control and love to manipulate people? Because control is power. Manipulation keeps you mentally empowered, okay, by that person. So who likes to do that? What type of people? Narcissists, that too. And narcissists are also the people that can't stand rejection. You can't tell them no. Funny thing is, a lot of these men be out here lying and cheating. And then when the woman gets sick and tired of being sick and tired and wants to leave, no longer wants to be with him, well, now he can't just go on with all the other women that he's been cheating with and just make move one of them up a notch to the number one spot. No, he has to have that one, because how dare you leave me? Even though I dogged you out, even though I put hands on you, even though I lied and cheated, even though I had children behind your back, even though I'm just no good all around and try to manipulate and control everything you do and stalk you when I feel the need to do so. How dare you try to leave me? I'll kill you first. That's how a lot of these men think. And that's the sad thing. So, ladies, it would behoove you that if you have anyone in your life that has these type of red flags that you're seeing, where they're manipulating and controlling, okay, they're getting mad just off of little minute things. Yeah, you might want to get out of it real quick, because nobody has time for that. And the same goes for men, because some of these women are narcissists too. Okay, and some of them would rather see the man dead than be with somebody else. Let's not forget about the case of Jodi Arias, how she killed her ex-boyfriend with her crazy self. Okay, so I'm just telling y'all, honey, y'all all have to be careful. Keep your heads on the swivel. If somebody's acting crazy, being disrespectful, being rude, just being too controlling and possessive, always asking you 1,000 questions, calling your phone repeatedly if you don't answer the first 2 times, or texting you all day, like repetitively, that's crazy. That's not normal behavior. That is not normal behavior at all. Okay? That's what it isn't. All right. So anyway, with that all been said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the broadcast. I will see you all, even though tomorrow's Saturday, I'll see you all tomorrow around lunchtime. Okay, so enjoy the rest of this night. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekends, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. All right, so each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got